Hello friends, today I am going to discuss a poem. The poem is The Inchcape Rock. It is written by Robert Southey. Firstly, let us know about the poet. Robert Southey was born in 12th August 1774 in Bristol, England. He was dead in 21st March 1843, United Kingdom, London. He was the son of a draper. His early childhood was forced him to live away from home. Robert Southey spent much of his childhood at Bath in the care of his aunt. He was educated at the Westminster School and a Balliol College, Oxford. Robert Southey was an English poet of Romantic school and a poet laureate of England from 1813 to 1843. He first met Coleridge, who shared his views, and together they wrote a verse drama, The Fall of Robespierre. He published his first collection of poems in 1794. Southey also did translations, edited the works of Thomas Chatterton. Of his fellow romantics, he was perhaps the most versatile. He produced epics, romances, ballads, plays, monodramas, odes, sonnets, and lyrics. Although Southey began to write journalism early and continued to compose verse in later years, his literary career, like those of Coleridge and Scott, some of his short poems like The Scholar, The Battle of Bellingham, Bishop Hatto, The Inchcape Rock, etc., are very popular with school children. The Inchcape Rock is a ballad. Friends, ballad is a long narrative poem that tells a story. Ballads are the most ancient of all literary forms. It is the story of 14th century attempt by the abbot of Aberbrothock to install a warning bell on Inchcape, a notorious sandstone reef about 11 miles, that is 18 kilometers off the east coast of Angus, Scotland, near Dundee and Fife, occupied by the Bell Rock Lighthouse. Southey was inspired by the legendary story of a pirate who removed the bell on the Inchcape Rock, placed by the abbot of Aberbrothock. The poem gives us a message that those who do wrong things will meet with due punishment. So, let us see the poem. The poem is a bit long, as the ballad should be. It consists of 17 stanzas of 4 lines each. The first 2 and the last 2 lines of each stanza rhyme with each other. The rhyme scheme is AABB for each stanza. So, let us study the first stanza of the poem. No stir in the air, no stir in the sea. The ship was as still as she could be. Her sails from heaven received no motion. Her keel was steady in the ocean. In the first stanza of the poem, the poet describes the calmness of the sea. The air, the sea, the ship, all were still. The sails of the ship were getting no motion from the wind. Its keel was steady in the ocean. Let me tell you in marathi. No stir in the air. हवेमध्ये कोठेही हालचाल नव्हती. No stir in the sea. समुद्रात कोठेही हालचाल नव्हती. The ship was as still as she could be. जहाज जसे शांत असायला हवे होते तसे ते शांत होते. Her sails from heaven received no motion. त्या जहाजाला आकाशातून गती मिळत नव्हती. Her keel was steady in the ocean. तर जहाजाचा तळभाग समुद्रामध्ये स्थिर होता. So, let us see the second stanza of the poem. Without either sign or sound of their shock, the waves flow over the Inchcape Rock. So little they rose, so little they fell, they did not move the Inchcape Bale. The second stanza describes the mild sea waves. The waves were rising and falling, so little that they did not make any sign or sound. The waves were gently flowing over the Inchcape Rock, without moving or ringing the bell. Let me tell you in Marathi. Without either sign or sound of their shock. म्हणजे कोणत्याही धोक्याच्या इशाऱ्याशिवाय किंवा आवाजाशिवाय. The waves flow over the Inchcape Rock. म्हणजे Inchcape Rock वरून लाटा वाहत होत्या. So little they rose, so little they fell. म्हणजे त्या लाटा फारशा उसळत नव्हत्या किंवा आदळतही नव्हत्या. They did not move the Inchcape Bale. त्यामुळं Inchcape Bale हालतही नव्हती. So, let us see the third stanza of the poem. The abbot of Aberbrothock had placed the bell on the Inchcape Rock. On a buoy in the storm, it floated and swung, and o'er the waves its warning rang. The third stanza is about the bell. The good old abbot of Aberbrothock placed the Inchcape Bale there on the Inchcape Rock. During the storms, it floated on a buoy and rang widely, swung by the high tides to alert everyone that the dangerous rock was there. Let me tell you in Marathi. The abbot of Aberbrothock had placed that bell on the Inchcape Rock. On a buoy in the storm, it floated and swung, and o'er the waves its warning rang. Means, the abbot of Aberbrothock या साधूने Inchcape Rock या ठिकाणी घंटा बसवलेली होती. एका उंच खडकावर बसवलेली घंटा वादळ आणि भरती आल्यावर तणगत असे व लाटामुळे हेलकावे खात असे. लाटाबरोबर वाहताना ती घंटा वाजत असे. त्यावेळी तेथे डोंगर कपार येथे बुडलेली आहे याचा खलाशांना इशारा मिळत. So, let us study the fourth stanza of the poem. When the rock was hit by the surge's spell, the mariners heard the warning bell, and then they knew the perilous rock and blessed the abbot of Aberbrothock. In the fourth stanza, the poet tells us how the bell guided the mariners in the bad weather. The seamen could not see the rock as it stayed hidden under the high waves during the storms, but they could hear the ringing bell and went away from the perilous rock. So the bell saved their lives, and then the seafarers blessed the abbot for his good job. Let me tell you in Marathi. When the rock was hit by the surge's wail, the mariners heard the warning bell, and then they knew the perilous rock and blessed the abbot of Aberbrothock. कवी म्हणतो की जेव्हा हा महाकाय डोंगर रांग समुद्र भरतीमुळे बुडत असे तेव्हा ती घंटा खलाशांना धोक्याचा इशारा देत असे. त्या खलाशांना त्या धोकादायक डोंगर रांगेचे ठिकाण समजत असे व त्या घंटेमुळे त्या खलाशांचे जीवन वाचत असे. म्हणून ती घंटा तेथे लावल्यामुळे ते खलासी ॲबरब्रॉथकला आशीर्वाद देत असत, आभार मानत असत. So students, let us study the fifth stanza of the poem. The sun in heaven was shining gay All things were joyful on that day. The seabirds screamed as they wheeled round, and there was joyance in their sound. The fifth stanza delivers a cheerful atmosphere, as it generally happens before every disaster on a particular bright day. Everything looked joyful. The seabirds were wheeling over the sea and screaming in joy. Let me tell you in Marathi. Means आज आकाशातील सूर्य आनंदाने प्रकाशित होता. आज सर्वच गोष्टी आनंदी होत्या. समुद्र पक्षी आकाशातून गिरकी घेताना ओरडत होते. त्यांच्या ओरडण्यामध्ये केवळ आनंद होता. Now we will see the next stanza of the poem. The boy of the Inchcape Bell was seen, a darker speck on the ocean green. Sir Ralph the rower walked his deck, and he fixed his eye on the darker speck. In the next stanza of the poem, Sir Ralph is introduced for the first time. On that fine day, the boy on the Inchcape Rock was clearly visible, as it was a blackish spot in the green ocean. Sir Ralph the rower went on the deck of his vessel and gazed at the dark spot of the boy. Let me tell you in Marathi. Inchcape Bell बसवलेला तो उंचवटा स्पष्टपणे दिसत होता. जणू तो हिरव्या समुद्रावर एक काळा ठिपका होता. सर राल्फ रोवर हा समुद्र चोर आपल्या बोटीच्या डेकवर चालत होता. त्याची नजर त्या काळ्या ठिपक्यावर रोखलेली होती. So, let us study the next stanza of the poem. He felt the cheering power of spring. It made him whistle, it made him sing. His heart was mirthful to excess, but the rower's mirth was wickedness. His eyes was on the Inchcape float. Quoth he, my men, put out the boat, and draw me to the Inchcape Rock, and I shall pluck the abbot of Aberbrothock. The next stanza deals with the Ralph's feelings and thoughts. He was delighted at the good spring atmosphere. He was making whistling sounds and singing in joy. He was actually overjoyed, but no one knew that a sinful thought in his mind was behind his happiness. The rower himself speaks and reveals his desire. His eyes were fixed on the floating boy on the Inchcape Rock. Sir Ralph the rower ordered his crew to take the boat to the Inchcape Rock. Then he says that he is going to destroy the good work of the abbot of Aberbrothock. So, let me tell you in Marathi. या स्टांजामध्ये कवी म्हणतो की वसंत ऋतूची प्रेरणादायक करण्याची क्षमतेची त्याला जाणीव झाली होती. तो आनंदाने शीळ घालू लागला. तो गाणी गाऊ लागला. त्याचे मन आनंदाने ओसांडून वाहू लागले. पण त्याच्या आनंदात दुष्टपणा होता. त्या राल्फ रोवर या समुद्र चोराची नजर त्या तरंगणाऱ्या इंचकेप बेलवर होती. तो आपल्या लोकांना म्हणाला, चला आपली बोट वल्लवत मला इंचकेप रॉककडे घेऊन चला. मला त्या ॲबोट ऑफ एबरब्रॉथकला छळायचे आहे. ती इंचकेप बेल उद्ध्वस्त करायची आहे, नष्ट करायची आहे. ती इंचकेप बेल मला कापून टाकायची आहे. So, let us study the next stanza of the poem. The boat is lowered, the boatmen row, and to the Inchcape Rock they go. Sir Ralph bent over from the boat, and he cut the bell from the Inchcape float. Down sunk the bell with a gurgling sound. The bubbles rose and burst around. Quoth Sir Ralph, the next who comes to the rock, won't bless the abbot of Aberbrothock. Let me explain these lines. The ninth stanza describes that the rower's men took the boat to the Inchcape Rock. There he bent over the boat and cut the bell from the rock. Then The bale was sinking down, making the bubbling sound. Bubbles rose and burst around. Sir Ralph was happy, thinking that the bale would save no more ships and the seamen would no longer bliss the about. Let me explain in Marathi. खलाशी बोट खालच्या दिशेने वळवू लागली. इंचकेप रॉक या ठिकाणी ते पोहोचले. सर राल्फ बोटीमधून थोडा वाकला आणि त्याने तेथील घंटा तोडली, कापली. डुबुक आवाज करून ती घंटा समुद्रात बुडाली. बुडबुडे वर आले आणि फुटले. सर राल्फ म्हणाला, आता यापुढे जो कोणी या खडकाकडे येईल तेव्हा तो ॲबोट अबरब्रॉथक या साधूस धन्यवाद देणार नाही व त्यांचा जीवही वाचणार नाही. सो लेट अस स्टडी द नेक्स्ट स्टँजा ऑफ द पोएम. Sir Ralph the rower sailed away. He scoured the seas for many a day, and now grown rich with splendid store, he steers his course for Scotland's shore. So thick a haze overspreads the sky, they cannot see the sun on high. The wind hath blown a gale all day, at evening it hath died away. Let me explain these lines. Sir Ralph the rower then sailed away from the rock. Thereafter he had robbed and looted many ships, which meet accidents crashing to the Inchcape Rock. He is now a rich man with all looted treasures, and today he is going to the Scotland shore with his ship. The 12th stanza describes the gloomy atmosphere on the day. The rower is sailing to Scotland. The sun is hidden behind the thick fog. Strong winds were blowing all day, and now in the evening it has stopped blowing. Let me tell you in Marathi. Sir Ralph rower हा समुद्र चोर जहाजामधून दूरवर समुद्रात निघून गेला. अनेक दिवस त्याने समुद्र पिंजून काढला. प्रचंड लूटमार करून त्याने खूप संपत्ती मिळवली व तो श्रीमंत झाला. तो परतीच्या मार्गाने स्कॉटलंडच्या किनारपट्टीकडे निघाला. आकाशात दाट धुके पडले होते. त्याला डोक्यावरचा सूर्य दिसत नव्हता. दिवसभर जोरदार वारे वाहत होते. संध्याकाळी तो वारा शांत झाला. सो लेट अस सी द नेक्स्ट स्टँजा ऑफ द पोएम. ऑन द डेक the rower takes his stand. So dark it is, they see no land. Quit, Sir Ralph, it will be lighter soon, for there is the dawn of the rising moon. Canst hear, said one, the breakers roar, for methinks we should be near the shore. Now, where we are, I cannot say, but I wish I could hear the Inchcape bell. The next 4 lines continues the gloom. Now the rower is on the deck of his ship. He cannot see land as it is very dark. Sir Ralph assures that the moon will appear soon, so there will be light. In the 14th stanza, one of Ralph's men says that he hears the roaring sound of the waves breaking against something, so he hopes that they should be near the shore. He also regards that the Inchcape bell is no more, as it could guide them in this situation. Let me tell you in Marathi. आता राल्फ रोवर आपल्या जहाजावर उभा होता, परंतु त्याला कोठेही जमीन दिसत नव्हती. तो आपल्या साथीदारांना म्हणाला, जेव्हा चंद्र उगवेल तेव्हा थोडासा प्रकाश पडेल व किनारा दिसेल. 14व्या चरणामध्ये कवी असा म्हणतो की सर राल्फचा एक कर्मचारी म्हणतो, लाटा गर्जना करत असल्याचा आवाज येत नाही का? मला तरी वाटतंय आपण समुद्र किनाऱ्याजवळ आलोय. सध्या आपण कोठे आहोत हे नक्की सांगता येत नाही, पण किती बरं झालं असतं जर इंचकेप बेलचा आवाज आला असता तर. सो लेट अस स्टडी द नेक्स्ट स्टँजा ऑफ द पोएम. दे हिअर नो सॉन्ग, द स्वेल इज स्ट्रॉंग. Though the wind hath fallen, they drift along. till the whistle strikes with a shivering shock. Oh Christ, it is the Inchcape Rock. Sir Ralph the rower tore his hair. He crushed himself in his despair. The waves rush in every side. The ship is sinking beneath the tide. But even in his dying fear, one doubtful sound could the rower hear. A sound as if with the Inchcape bell, the devil below was ringing his knell. Let me explain these lines. But no sound was there. The tides were strong. The rower and his team are drifting along with the ship. Suddenly, the whistle gets a jerking. They all realize that the whistle has hit the Inchcape Rock. Sir Ralph the rower pulls his hairs in frustration. He curses himself for his evil deeds. Meanwhile, the water fills in every corner of the vessel and it starts sinking in the sea. In the last stanza of the poem, as the rower is dying, he hears a sound like the ringing of the Inchcape bell. It was actually his death knell that the devil himself was ringing beneath the water. Thus, the rower gets punishment for his sinful works. Robert Southey is a poet who always delivers a teaching through his poems. Let me tell you in Marathi. त्यांना कशाचाही आवाज ऐकू येत नव्हता. जोरदार समुद्राला भरती होती. वाहत्या वाऱ्याबरोबर ते जहाज वाहत जात होते. अचानक जहाज एका मोठ्या वस्तूला थडकले आणि जोरदार धक्क्याने ते जहाज थरथरले. हे येशू, हा तर इंचकेप खडक आहे. सर राल्फ रोवर स्वतःचेच केस ओढत होता. दुःखाने स्वतःला शिव्या देत होता. समुद्राच्या लाटा चोहू बाजूने जहाजात येत होत्या व जहाज बुडू लागले. भीतीने गर्भगळीत असून सुद्धा एक भयंकर आवाज रोवरने ऐकला. जणू काही हा आवाज इंचकेप बेलचा होता. यम म्हणजे मृत्यू देवता समुद्राच्या तळातून धोक्याची घंटा वाजवत होता. So students, today we have learned a poem. The poem is the Inchcape Rock. The poem gives us a message that those who do wrong things will meet due punishment. Thank you for watching my video. If you like my video, like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.